I know that a lot of people think that, and they end up under like creative pressure, if that makes sense, and
Yeah.
they feel pressured to make something unique, and what happens is they end up not making anything because of that, because they're too scared about copying someone else, or it's hard to explain, but I feel like for some people there's a danger in thinking that. So I mean, have you experienced that? Have you experienced the pressure that comes with trying to be unique?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, every producer bumps into it. If they don't, there's something wrong with them. It's just it's just the truth that we go through every day. You obviously have to be yourself and brand yourself, but you also have to create something that's touching the current that's out right now. Is what's trending. You have to find that medium line that sits between your brand and what's hot right now. But you don't. I think some artists struggle with finding that, because everything I hear in my inbox this past year it just sounds the same to me, unfortunately. There's very few artists that are standing out as far as the creative side. There's a lot of great tracks, but again, I'm just hearing too much stuff that's similar. And I think that problem's coming by everyone's just listening to the same set of people, the same labels, which I'm not against. I get why everyone does it, but me personally, I'm not a reference guy. I'm not against it again, but it's just something that I've always tried to stay away from, because once I reference a track or I listen to Axwell all day, well, then I want to be him,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And you start getting frustrated because you can't sound like Axwell. It's impossible. So yeah, long story short, I just try to stay away from referencing too much. I just want to stay true to the sound I have in my head. And if I can't get what I have in my head, I just step away, and take a minute to try to refresh and try to think differently. I don't go and listen to everybody else's record, because what I've found out, it kind of just makes you sound like them. So it's kind of finding that thin line that's very, very hard. You know what I mean, to brand yourself and also sound current.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do. I'm curious what you think of, because one thing I do, like if I'm trying to be unique, and I do try to be unique, I'm gonna end up making something very similar to the music I'm listening at the moment. So like at the moment, I'm listening to a lot of Matt Zoe, so I'll inevitably include some elements of, or some stylistic things that he does. But what I do to kind of refresh the, I don't know, like creative palette or mental palette is listen to non-EDM stuff. So
Oh yeah,
jazz or blues. I mean, do you do that at all?
absolutely. It's the best thing to recommend to anyone that's in a writer's block, because if we're just sitting here listening to EDM all day in your studio, you got to remember that, especially if it's the 4/4 at 128, you're just going to lock your brain up. You're gonna just find yourself almost in a daze of, you're just lost. You're going to get deeper into writer's block, because you're just hearing a lot of the same elements. So, it's absolutely something I do, and something I recommend, to just go throw the radio on, or just go on Sirius XM and just put a random channel on. A pop song or jazz, like you said. Even if it's something you don't love and listen to every day, you're gonna hear a certain element in that genre that you can be like, you know what, I'm gonna incorporate that piano sound. I'm gonna do that here in my track, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, your writer's block is kind of starting to go away by this simple process of just thinking out of the box.